Welcome back to another episode of the Moon Landing Launchpad. My name is Kate, and today we are sitting down with the one and only Seven Lions. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Good.
Excellent. We are so excited to have you here in Arizona. I know for me personally, I'm a really big fan of like all of the world building and lore building you do within your music and your sets.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what we might see tonight lore-wise.
Specifically tonight, new visuals for sure, and some new music will be premiered. The album is rolling out, so there's not a ton of new like lore drops yet, except for the tarot cards. Actually, I guess that's a lot of lore right there. So yeah, a few different things.
Yeah, what's behind the tarot cards?
Basically, they are each characters that are in the mythos, and they're finally kind of getting depicted as a character. And some of them have their symbols attached, which, we've had the symbols out for a while, so it's kind of nice to add the faces to the characters.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're kind of doing this world building with your music, does the music come first and then you build around it? Or do you think of a story and then create music within that story?
I'd say the music comes first, and the story exists more as like a guidepost for the visual content. So the music and the story aren't always connected, because I feel like that would be kind of constricting for a lot of the vocalists in lyrics. So I'd say the story is more told through the visuals than the music.
Absolutely. Where do you pull inspiration for some of these stories from? Like what outside influences?
Oh man, there's so many places. But as far as like the base story behind Seven Lions would be a mix of Gene Wolfe's Shadow and Claw, or Book of the New Sun, and Greek mythology would be like, if those two had a baby, that would be the story.
Super cool. Yeah. Who is your favorite figure in Greek mythology and why?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I feel like Demeter is really interesting in the story with Persephone and Hades, just because of the seasons and just the story that her, love is so intense and she misses her so much that the seasons change. I feel like that's just a really cool story. But the gods were, kind of mischievous dickheads, so I don't really have like one that I specifically like more than any other ones. I guess some of them are cooler than others, but yeah.
Totally. If you had to compare yourself to one of the gods when you're up there on stage, who do you think you're channeling?
Oh man, I can't even answer that one. I don't know where I would. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think when I'm up on stage, I try and not exist in a way. I'm just kind of in it, so I don't really see myself as any kind of way.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of feel yourself becoming like one with the music and one with the crowd.
Yeah, the flow state.
Totally.
Yep.
What else, puts you in a flow state?
Actually, it's so funny. I was just talking about this today. Making music, playing things like Elden Ring. There were a few other things for sure, but I really seek out those moments for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you kind of hinted at the beginning that there's going to be some new lore with this album. We're really, really excited for the album drop. What can we expect from it?
Well, I guess as far as lore, it's Asleep in the Garden of Infernal Stars, so it's supposed to kind of take place outside of the main mythology, I guess. It's more of like a dream world. Yeah. Is kind of the vibe. So yeah.
Super cool. Musically, what can we expect from it?
There's 11 tracks, 2 instrumentals, actually no, 3. I'd say some more experimental songs, but also I'd say like really what the fans want. I think it's what they want. Compared to like Beyond the Veil was like more of a concept album, I guess. Like I had a very clear image of what I wanted, and it was more experimental and it was more meandering. This album is very straight to the point, and I think a lot more snappy, and I think it feels more engaging.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of the differences then when you're producing, kind of like what Beyond the Veil was and what this is going to be?
Well, Beyond the Veil was like mostly made during the pandemic. So I feel like that was really just me in the studio, kind of like trying new things. I was like sampling vinyl, messing with a more indie sound, I feel like was kind of what I was going for. And this is more, there is like a lot of experimentation in the studio, but I feel like I'm doing what I'm best at, like what I know that I'm really good at. And I think that's kind of the difference. It's like, it feels a lot more direct, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you know, you have this sound that is so well established and it's so Seven Lions. Like you hear a Seven Lions song and you know that it's Seven Lions. How did you start really developing that and developing a lane of your own that nobody else was really doing?
I think it's just because I like to blend things. I like to take my inspirations and mash them together and create something new, as opposed to just going straight down, you know, the path. And I think that's because the artists that I like do that. So like Opeth, one of my favorite bands, like, yeah, they have some death metal, but yeah, they have some jazz and some like prog rock, I guess, going on as well. You know, my other favorite band, Alcest, you know, yeah, they're black metal, but yeah, they're like dreamy shoegaze as well. And then, you know, you combine these unexpected things and all of a sudden you have something brand new, you know?
Yeah.
It was like that with trance and dubstep, basically. It was like totally different crowds. How is this ever going to work together? And then, you know, you find a way to blend it and then there's something new.
Mm-hmm. Do you kind of tend to tailor your sets towards, you know, like maybe what the crowd is going to be, or do you like to play to the crowd a little bit more, feel the vibes? What's it like when you're on stage?
For a show like this, like I know what I'm going to play because we run a lot of time code. But like if I'm going to play like a club show, like I would, you know, change it up a little bit, maybe make it a little more straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, not too much because honestly I'm playing my own music and I feel like that's what people want to hear. And if they don't, then they're on the wrong building. So like, yeah, I play, you know, my music, I guess, mostly.
Absolutely. And, you know, you have such a huge catalog. Do you have any tracks that in your mind, when that track came out, maybe it popped off at a festival or maybe it just performed really well, like one track that makes you go, that was the song where when that did what it did, I was like, we made it, we're here.
I remember Strangers actually having that feeling, which was interesting. Yeah, definitely Strangers, for sure. It's interesting because when you play a new song live and it connects immediately is always such a good sign. So it's doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes you'll play a new song and people like don't know the lyrics, they don't know what's going to happen, and they're like trying to be receptive, but you know, like it's not familiar enough yet. But like there's a magic to making songs that are familiar the first time you hear them. So it's like that was one of those songs.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. Definitely with, you know, the magic that goes into making this music and talking about crowd reactions. What do you want your music to impact people with? What do you want them to feel when they're in the crowd at a Seven Lions Festival set?
Probably what I was feeling when I was in the crowd back in the day. You know, seeing Above and Beyond or Tiesto in like 2000, between 2007 and 2009 was when I was going to raves. Just connection. Being part of something and blown away. I feel like there's like an overwhelming feeling that raves can give you.
Yeah.
And that for sure.
Totally. It's very almost surreal, feeling like you're part of something that's bigger than you. And I think that's what your music gives a lot of people. What does it feel like knowing you have created something that is truly bigger than all of us?
I don't think about that stuff very often, to be honest. I'm honored, and I definitely, that's amazing, but I don't really think about that. I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm really happy about that, and it makes me feel good. I guess the part that I feel good about is like when I was growing up, there were times that were really, really tough for me, and music got me through. So like that journey to know that, you know, maybe there's somebody who's having a really tough time for whatever's going on in their life and music is helping them in a way. And like, I'm part of that. That makes me feel really, really good for sure. But awesome. It's definitely not something I think about very often.
Yeah. It sounds like you stay very grounded.
Yeah, for sure.
What are some things you do to like help stay grounded and keep your head in the game, keep your feet on the ground?
I think just I live in a small town. I spend my time with my wife and my animals and live a very normal life and work on music all the time. And just, it's not hard to be chill, I guess. I don't know. I don't seek much attention, I guess. So it's just, just living.
Yeah, totally. Having, a really chill place to go to is absolutely the best. What are some other things, that you like to do at home? I've mentioned Elden Ring.
Yeah, for sure. Gaming is a big thing. Reading, barbecuing. I'm really into horror movies, so I watch a lot of movies. Hiking. Yeah.
Best horror movie you've seen recently and why?
Ooh, Weapons was great. What else was there? I feel like that was probably it. Like very recently, Weapons. I liked Final Destination. I thought it was funny, better than I would have thought. As far as like amazing horror movies recently, I still think Hereditary is like the top one for me. Since it's Halloween, I'd say everybody should go home and watch Sleepy Hollow because that's like the ultimate Halloween movie for me.
100%.
But yeah, I like old horror movies too, like House on a Haunted Hill with Vincent Price. So anything with Vincent Price is like I'm really into for sure. Old school stuff.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you two questions. The first question is, you can have any film director create visuals for you and create like a story for a set. Which film director are you picking?
Panos Cosmatos, I think is how you pronounce it. But he's the guy who did Mandy and Beyond the Black Rainbow. And also that little short off of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosity. I think it was called The Viewing or something. He's only done a few things, but everything he's done is really cool.
Super cool. And then you can score any film, any kind of film that you want. What kind of movie are you scoring? Are you doing horror or are you going a different direction?
That's tough. I feel like a fantasy movie would be fun. Something epic with like a really epic score. Yeah, I mean like epic scores like Gladiator, epic score. Even like the Mummy, like those scores were always like just really cool and big and epic. So I guess an epic fantasy movie.
For sure. That's definitely the vibes you give. I feel like every time I'm at a Seven Lions set, I'm in some kind of epic fantasy movie.
Cool. Yeah.
So see the vision 100%. You've just done so much with your career. It spans over a decade.
Yeah.
We've got the new album coming out. What's next after the album?
A long nap. No, I don't know. More actually, to be honest. More music.
Do you feel like you're kind of constantly creating, or does it come in like ebbs and flows for you?
It's very consistent.
Yeah.
For sure. I think the only time I'm not working is when I'm touring. I mean, it's what I love to do. Like I would be doing that way more and touring a little less, to be honest. But I do like touring. I like playing shows. But if I could be in the studio all day, every day, I would probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. With liking touring and stuff, do you have any places where, you get booked for a show there and you're like, heck yeah, like I get to go back to wherever?
For sure. New Orleans is always like that. I love that place. Spooky, haunted, beautiful,
Fits
French,
the vibe.
Creole, love it.
Yeah.
Aspen, I love playing Belly Up. Red Rocks is always great. There's definitely some spots.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, here at Moon Landing, as we wrap up, we always like to finish with gratitude. And we like to ask, what's one thing you're grateful for right now?
My family, for sure, and my wife. And my little nephews just turned 6 today, and I talked to them for a little bit, and I'm really thankful. Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Family keeps us going. Well,
for sure.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us. We really appreciate it, and we're so excited to watch you absolutely kill it tonight out there.
Thank you.
This has been another episode of The Launchpad. My name is Kate, and this is Seven Lions, and we'll see you at the next one.